Hey guys, it's Chris with Double Eagle Gunworks, and we're out here on the range today, and we're going to be talking about the sights on your gun. There's a lot of different options available for sights. Some guns are going to have really nice sights, and others are just going to have really basic sights. And it depends on the gun that you get. So we're going to have a few one out here to take a look at. This is the the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus. This is a Ruger Wrangler, just a single action revolver. This is a Taurus Model 85. Then we got a Ruger SR 22. And then a HK45. And all of the sights on these guns are different. There's not any of them that have the same kind of sights that we're looking at. We'll start with the most basic and then work up from there. This Ruger Wrangler is going to have the most basic sight picture that you would find on any gun, whether it be a revolver or a semi-auto. Because to sight this one, it's just got a groove down the top of the top strap here. You can see that groove right there, and then you got the front post here on the front of the barrel. So to line this thing up, you want to get the top of the front post in this groove and get it lined up to where the top of the post is in the center of the groove from left to right, and then you can see the top of it kind of even with the top of the top strap there. So that's your most basic type of sight that you can go with. And a gun like this, older style revolvers, that's what you're going to have in these type revolvers. Now, when you go to a single action, double action revolver, this is the Taurus Model 85. It's got a little bit different type of sights. It's got a notch here in the back of the top strap, but then it's got a fiber optic orange tube up here at the front to be able to pick the front sight up. So what that looks like is you've got the notch here in the back of the gun. So you've got a U notch right there, and then you see the orange vial up here at the front, that fiber optic sight, so it picks up whatever light is in the area that you're shooting, and it amplifies that light so that you can see that dot in the sight there. So you just line up the top of the vial with the top of the notch back here, and then have the vial in the center. So even on the camera, that's pretty easy to pick up, because that front dot really glows with that fiber optic sight. So this sight, and with this being a gun that would be designed more for concealed carry or just a carry option for the gun, that sight is really easy to pick up when you're looking at it at the target. That orange vial really stands out when you're starting to shoot this thing. So that's a good sight system. It's not adjustable at all at the back or the front, but you can learn to where you need to place the front sight in the rear sight based on how you hold the gun and how it's going to shoot. So you learn to adjust based on how the gun works for you. Now, of the revolvers, the 686 has the nicer of the sighting systems on the revolvers. It has a fully adjustable rear sight, both for elevation going up and down or windage going left to right. And then the front post on it has an orange insert that makes it pretty easy to pick up when you're looking down the sight. So you've got the adjustable rear sight right here, and you can see the white outline of the U there on the back of the sight. If it will focus for me there. There we go. Got a little bit better picture of the white outline of the U there, and then you can see the orange insert on the front post right there. So with this one, a little bit longer barrel, but you can pick it up a little bit there depending on how I get the camera angle on it. See if I can get it to focus a little bit better. That's a little better. So you can see how that would work there. You always just get the front post lined up with the top of the back, and then of course get it centered from left to right. And then based on how you're shooting or what how everything is, either windage or however much your bullet is dropping, you can adjust the rear sight to get it right where you want the gun to hit. Now, of the two semi-autos that we've got out here, this Ruger SR22, it's a fairly inexpensive gun, but it's got a fairly nice sight system on it. Again, it is a fully adjustable rear sight for elevation and windage. Got the little screws here and here that you can adjust, and it's a 3-dot system. So with this one, you got 2 dots in the rear, one on each side of the notch, and then the white dot up on the front post. So with that one, you've got the rear dots there, and then the front post has the white dot there. So you can try to get those lined up, and when you're sighting your gun, you always want to have the front sight more in focus than the rear sight, but the camera likes to focus on stuff that's a little bit closer to it rather than up front. So can't quite get a good picture of the front sight there for you, but you get the idea. And we'll put a diagram in the video here to show you what that actually looks like. But with this, the 3-dot sighting system, you want to get the 3 dots lined up all the way across this way, and then they're going to be level this way. So you're trying to get all 3 of those dots lined up, and then have them, the center dot equally spaced in between the front or the 2 rear dots at the back. Now, of the ones that we've got out here, none of these are what's considered night sights. These are all just regular daylight sights. If there was a little bit of light at night, then this fiber optic sight could pick it up and it would glow a little bit for you and stand out more. But none of the rest of these have night sights on them. And what the night sights do is, when it's dark outside or inside your house, wherever you might be, then they glow, and you can pick up the dots or whatever the configuration of the gun is to be able to see the dots in the dark. Okay, this is the HK45, and it's a similar sight to the Ruger that I just showed you, but this one has night sights on it. So the front dot on it will glow when it's dark enough for the tritium to start glowing. You don't pick it up as much in the daytime, but you just get the white showing up during the day. Now, the rear sight on this one does not have any dots on it. It's just a blacked out rear sight. So during the daytime, you can see that white dot pretty easily in between the rear post here, and depending on how much light you have at night, it makes it easier to pick up the white dot with just the blacked out rear sight. But if it's totally dark, then you're seeing the front dot, but you don't have any reference point of exactly how you got the gun on the as far as your elevation, getting the front either level or a little bit higher or lower than the back of the gun to know whether you're dead on target with your gun. But it's going to be more of a kind of a point shooting type thing, not as much lined up on the sights in a situation like that where it's more dark and you're just seeing the front sight. But this sight, again, it's fully adjustable for, actually, I'm mistaken. It's just adjustable for elevation. There's no windage other than having to drift the sight left or right with a punch to be able to move it left or right. So it's just easily adjustable for elevation. Now, another difference on this particular gun, this is the HK45 Tactical, which means it has a threaded barrel on the end of it. So if you wanted to get a suppressor to put on the end of this gun, you could put a suppressor on it, and then these sights are what's known as suppressor height sights. So they're high enough to be able to still sight the gun if you have a suppressor on the front of it, so that you can see over the suppressor, depending on how big a round of a suppressor you get. As long as it's not a real fat suppressor, then you can still see your target with these sights that come from the factory. So you've got a lot of different options for sighting systems. Some are easier than others. On the gun that I carry normally, it's a Sig P320. Try that again. Sig P320. And it has night sights on it, but it's got the dots on the rear as well as the front, so that you can pick everything up. So with it just being the blacked out rear sight, you don't have anything on the back there other than just the U to be able to try to pick up that white dot that you see there on the front. So with a 3-dot night sight configuration, you have all 3 dots that would be glowing when it's dark, and you could line everything up a lot easier when you're in a low light situation, rather than not being able to see the rear sight at all. So of the revolvers and everything that we've got out here right now, as far as easiest to acquire your target, one of these 2 revolvers, either the Taurus or the Smith & Wesson, are going to be easier to acquire the target because that front sight has the orange or red dot on it, or the fiber optic tube on this one, and a orange insert on this one. Makes it easier to pick up the front sight so that you can acquire your target easier. And then with the semi-autos that we've got out here, with the configuration on those, personally I like the 3-dot sight system better than just a single dot on the front post and a blacked out rear sight. I find it easier to get on target a little bit quicker having the 3 dots rather than just the 1 dot on the gun. But other people like it just the opposite. They don't want to have any dots on the backside. They just want it blacked out. They think it's easier to acquire your front sight that way. So again, with guns, everything varies from person to person, depending on what somebody else likes or what they're used to using. So the biggest thing with sights is to find a gun that you are comfortable with, as far as how it fits your hand, how easy it is to hold and get on target. So the sight configuration works into that, as well as your grip size and everything when you're getting properly fitted to a gun. And we got an article on the website talking about gun fitting, so check that out on doubleeaglegunworks.com. and we'll have more information there on sight systems and all these guns that we've got here. Got more information on each one of those. So check out doubleeaglegunworks.com and like and subscribe down at the bottom. We'll see you next time.